Hello, and thanks for tuning in to the Donley Auctions Hour. Hi, I'm Susan, and it's great to have you with us this Sunday morning right here on the legendary WLS AM 890. Donley Auctions is an auction house that connects passionate buyers and consigners from all corners of the globe. If it's a rare antique, a classic car, a piece of military history, or a collection of coins or guns, chances are it passes through our doors. Believe me when I say every week here is a new adventure. We host at least one major auction every month, and for our listeners in the Chicagoland area, you really have to experience the energy of a live sale in person. We're just an easy trip from O'Hare Airport, just about 45 minutes northwest, and the excitement is contagious. But you don't have to be here to join us. Our worldwide showroom is always open at donleyauctions.com. That's where you can see every single item and bid live from the comfort of your home. And if you happen to miss a show, you can find all of our past episodes there, plus our unfiltered podcast for some great behind-the-scenes stories. You know, we're always searching for that next great collection. If you have treasures you're ready to turn into cash, we'd love to talk to you. Just give us a call at 815-923-7000 or email us a few photos to consign@donleyauctions.com. We're excited to see what you've got. We have a fantastic hour lined up for you today. We're going to preview some show-stopping items coming up for bid, talk about the specific things we're on the hunt for, and share some of the crazy stories that could only happen at the auction house. I'm joined here today with Randy Donley and Mike Donley. We're going to bust the myths and debunk the bunks about auctions today.
Well, that was a mouthful, Susan.
Good morning, Susan.
Good morning. And once again, as Susan says, welcome to the Donley Auctions Hour. This week's auction, which ended yesterday, that was quite an event. Coupled with the slot machine show, everything really went well and was an exciting weekend, huh?
It was 3 days of fun-filled activities.
It was quite a night. Friday night was unbelievable. It was a good crowd, good prices. It was just, what an event.
And good camaraderie. It's so interesting, ladies and gentlemen, that we run an auction house, obviously in Union, Illinois, and we run some annual auctions this weekend actually, being one of our biggest. And people come from all over the world. They come from all over the world to attend our auctions. And this is probably the biggest one where people actually come here live as opposed to bidding online, wouldn't you say?
Always the fall one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the biggest.
For sure. And that is because we run it in conjunction with the Slot Machine and Jukebox Show.
I do know we'll be talking next week about some of the fantastic results that we got from the auction. So stay tuned and check in with us next week to hear about all those great surprises we had.
Absolutely. Today, what I think more than anything, what we want to talk about is upcoming auctions. So you, our listening audience, if you have items that you'd like to sell, you'll know what we have coming up and how to consign with us. First auction coming up next. Susan, you've got an online auction. Tell us about that.
Put together really fast an online only auction of items that have been in multiple auctions that have not sold, items that have been laying around here for a while that need to be cleared out.
Clear the deck
we
auction.
We are clearing out everything here by the end of October. So I'm hoping to get this auction ready to go in the next couple of weeks. About 400 items of unsolds that need to go.
And, you know, when we call it a clearance sale, so to speak, that doesn't mean that they're low-end or junk merchandise. It's simply items that have been here, you know, pretty much too long, and they've got to go.
That's right. So keep an eye on our website at donleyauctions.com. I will set a date here soon. I'm adding more to it, so keep an eye on that. It's going to be a great one. If you're looking for items to decorate your home, items if you're renovating a house, upselling, repurposing items, this is the one for you.
Now, Susan, I mentioned that you were running an online-only auction, and you did talk about the auction we just talked about, but actually I was talking about a different auction that you've got coming up online. You've got a razor blade collection that you've been working on coming up.
That's right. That's another one I'm working on, about 200 lots of fantastic razor blade displays, straight razors, barber memorabilia, all kinds of great stuff.
And by displays, you mean these are actual little like cardboard stands?
Yeah, how do you describe what they look like?
They were like point of purchase displays that you'd see in a store where you'd be able to tear off a.
Yeah, they just stand up on the counter, and they have probably about 20 little boxes of blades on each display.
Right,
And these are in fantastic condition.
They'd be in drugstores or barber shops for sale.
Yeah, there's a lot of
you know,
really
when
good
I
ones.
was a kid, getting my hair cut, I always remember looking at the glass cabinet that the barber had in his shop, and on top of the cabinet there were these cardboard displays, and the advertising on them is fantastic. The graphics on these cardboard racks or display cards is really so interesting. I'm saying you must have like 200 different. Yeah,
Yes.
They're not all the same. I mean,
Right. They're all individual.
How did one person collect so many?
He did a great job of it, and I have them all in alphabetical order, too, so you can see all the
And they all
different
have
brand
the razor,
names.
They all have the razor blades on them, too.
Yes,
The
they're
little
all
cabinet.
full of product.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is so cool.
What a nice, easy little collection to start. They're lightweight, they're easy to carry, easy to ship, and they look great.
That's it. And again, the color, the graphics on it and everything. So who knows what you're going to find next at Donley Auctions, whether it's a razor blade display auction.
But
or...
I do want to mention that there's still time if anybody does have anything to add to that auction, anything in the barbershop category, I would love to talk to you. So email me at consign@donleyauctions.com. I'd love to add some more stuff to this one.
And, to that point, we're always looking for big. I know you get mad at me for
More
we're
big
always
stuff?
asking for
Oh, my
big stuff.
gosh.
But Mike and I have taken out complete barber shops out of the city of Chicago where all the walls are marble, the counters are marble, the barber chairs and everything. We've moved out complete architectural barber shops. And one of them, Mike, reported to, of course, everybody says this, but reported to have been where Al Capone got his haircut.
When we found it was up in, I think, in Round Lake.
Round
Illinois.
Lake Beach, yeah.
Yeah, and the barber had, I don't know whether he passed or retired or whatever, and we were called in. And he had pulled it out of the New Michigan Hotel, downtown Chicago. That's where Al Capone's offices were. I think the 5th floor. It was the corner of Michigan and 22nd.
You're
south
right,
side of
Cermak
Chicago.
Road, named after the great mayor, Cermak.
As a matter of fact, quick story on that. Our dad, Larry, as a little boy, there was a flower shop in there that his uncle owned. And one of Larry's jobs was to sweep up the floor and everything, but also to take the corsages, the carnations, over to the mobsters, over to the barber shop when they were getting their haircut, so they could have a corsage. Or
True
a little,
story.
Oh, my
little
gosh.
carnation, yeah.
True story.
great.
Now, let's take that one
I
step
love that.
further. We're not, trying to get too far off topic, but do you remember, Mike? Of course you remember, when Geraldo was at the New Michigan Hotel because they had discovered what they believed to be Al Capone's vault in the basement.
Yep.
Oh, we remember that.
And in fact, they interviewed our father, knowing that he had actually worked there as a preteen. And what did our dad tell them before the show ever took place?
Well, yeah, and it kind of blew the story. They didn't use that.
They didn't want to use his interview,
because,
right?
he says, as a little boy, he says, I sat on the stairs and watched them brick up the walls because those were the coal tunnels and the rats were coming in. So coming into the hotel, so they bricked up the walls for that purpose.
The brick wall that they all believed was Capone's hidden vault. Our father actually told them before the story ever hit the news that it was just a fantasy. It was like
There
you
was
say.
nothing there, yeah.
But
Nothing there, huh?
they didn't use his story, and of
Oh,
course,
my gosh.
poor Geraldo didn't look so good
No, he
when
did
the
not.
wall came down.
No, but I think that at that time garnered one of the largest viewing audiences
did.
ever on TV. Yeah,
It was pretty
When
wild.
was that, in the 80s?
yeah, I think so.
I think it
Yeah.
was in the 80s? Wow.
Yeah,
That's
pretty-
a great
pretty
story.
wild.
I don't know where you guys come up with this stuff.
Yeah, there's all kinds of Capone stories and Capone stuff. So that is an auction that we would really like to
Create.
put together
yeah,
as
let's put
a
together
whole
one.
game gangster type auction from the city of Chicago. So if you're out there and you have any items that are from the gangster period, and we're talking anything and everything, whether it be clothing, photographs, and so on, or firearms.
Yeah.
You know, we do so much in firearm auctions, folks. We're always looking for more guns, but I can't believe we're talking about this. This just came up yesterday. I was actually emailed a photograph of a Steinway grand piano in an art case, which is a player grand, which actually came out of Al Capone's house in Miami, Florida. Right now, we're looking for interior shots of Al Capone's home in Miami that would show this piano in one of the rooms. We do have provenance on the piano, but we're looking for photographic provenance also. So if you have any pictures of the interior of Al Capone's house in Miami, and a lot of you out there just might have, let us know.
I'll be darned. Well,
How would they contact us?
all
Susan?
right, here's what you need to do. 2 easy things. Call us at 815-923-7000 or email us at consign, that's CONSIGN, at Donley, DONLEY, auctions with an S.com. We'd love to hear from you.
You know how we build on auctions. Here we're sitting doing a radio show today, and we just come off the top of our head and decide we're going to do a Capone auction. But that builds into many, many different areas. For example, police memorabilia and police badges would be part of a Capone auction.
Absolutely. From that era, 20s and 30s, yes, definitely.
And we're always looking for great police memorabilia, which brings up another story. Do we have time for another story, Susan?
Always. Yes, we love your stories.
At the Wild West Town, folks, which is a family-owned business that the Donley family owned for 50 years here in Union, Illinois, we actually had on display here the gallows from the city of Chicago.
From Cook County.
Cook County gallows.
Yep.
Now, the gallows has such history to it, and the interesting thing is how we found the gallows. Mm-hmm. Now, Mike and I were early 20s, so
right.
We had every reason to be in a liquor store, of course, and we saw a Sun-Times newspaper sitting on the counter at the checkout counter of the liquor store. The Sun-Times, this had a play on words as its title, Good Noose for Tommy. And they were clearing out, was it the Cook, California?
Yeah,
Cook
26th
County
California,
Jail.
Cook County Jail.
And the gallows were still in the basement. They were cleaning out the basement. They advertised these gallows. We put in a written bid and ended up buying the gallows and then had them on display here for years and years. And of course, we always collected police and early gangster memorabilia.
And you know, there's one other little thing I want to throw out here. If there's any members of the Kipri family from Berwyn, he was a truant officer. He was a police officer and ended up becoming a truant officer. If there's any members from the Kipri family, please contact us because we'd like to talk to you about some stuff.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, give us a call at 815-923-7000. Boy, you know, I've been with you guys for 18 years, and I still hear new stories every time. I thought I've heard them all.
Oops,
no, those
sorry
are good
about
ones.
that.
No, they'll keep them coming. We like the stories for
No,
sure.
there's a lot you'll never hear, too.
I'm
so.
sure. I'm sure. I don't want to hear some of them.
Thank you for that, Mike. So what's next? Okay, so folks, you now know we need your gangster memorabilia. We need your police memorabilia. And we're talking uniforms. We're talking photography, badges, anything, even automobiles. For example, in our last auction, we just had a couple of great automobiles, kind of gangstery, a 1931 and a 1937 automobile. So we're always looking.
Cadillacs, yeah.
Always looking for cars of any vintage, whether they're early horseless carriages, and I mean that would be stuff in the early teens through the 20s, Model A's, Model T's, right on through muscle cars, because as we talked about in the last show, Mike was the muscle king back in the day.
That's
with
right.
his 68 Shelby GT convertible. What a car.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember last year, I think it was, we had a police car in an auction that looked like it came right out of the Blues Brothers. It was an old 70s something. I can't remember, but even those kind of cars sell well.
Sure, yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up. If you've got an old police car or taxi cab or any of these type of commercial vehicles, we're always looking for that also.
That's right. Just send us a picture at consign@donleyauctions.com. Snap a photo, send it to us real quick, and tell us where it's located, and we'll get back to you with your next steps. I think we should be talking about the Native American and Old West auction, November 22nd to the 23rd.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that is right around the corner in auction world. That's just a month away.
It is just a month away, and we're going to have it hopefully online in the next week.
Mike can take the lead on that. He's really in charge of this auction. Is a lot of the memorabilia coming out of the Wild West town, or is this collections from other states?
Well, actually, there's a couple of collections. The Native American collection is basically from a retired professor from the University of Wisconsin up in Madison. It's his lifetime collection, and it's really a great amount of Native American items. And then we also have the Wild West artifacts from the Wild West town. This is things that we've collected our entire life, and we've had on display here for the last 40 years, and we're letting go of a lot of that.
Well, how big of an auction is this going to be?
Probably it's going to be about, let's say, 600 or 700 lots.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, so
Okay.
that's all in one day then? That's not a 2-day auction at this point? Could be.
We'll know by next week whether we're going to spill over into the second day.
Okay.
And at the very least, we're going to have a second auction because I have another big Native American collection that's coming in, and we still have a lot of Wild West artifacts here.
Okay, so to our listeners out there, is this auction closed or can they still get their items in this auction? You want them to contact you with
Oh, absolutely. Contact us. Yes.
Wild West memorabilia, Native American.
Whether it's one item or several items, we'll definitely let you know if we can get it in. Let's see what you have. Let's determine the value and let you know next steps.
And provenance is so important. If you have the story that, how it was acquired, how your family came by this, people will say to me, well, gee, I'm sorry, I don't have any provenance with it, when in fact, you sometimes are the provenance. If it's no more than you typing up a letter that simply states, my grandfather acquired this, it was passed down through the family. At some point in time, you want to record those stories and make sure that another generation doesn't get by without hearing the story and knowing how items were acquired and what you know about it. So don't always say items don't have provenance when in fact you do have the story that you could type up, get it notarized, and boom, there's some provenance.
And that really helps the value a lot, too. I mean, the provenance can sometimes double or even triple the value if it's great provenance of an item.
Yeah.
Well, for example, you have in this auction, a Native American outfit, a complete buckskin leather outfit from, what is that, the 101 Ranch?
The 101 Ranch Wild West Show, yeah. I was out in Georgetown, Colorado many, many years ago at a little antique store up in the mountains I used to visit. A lady had just come in. Her father was one of the performers in the 101 Ranch Wild West Show, and she had just sold it to the antique dealer, and I had first crack at it and bought it and have it on display here. It's a beauty, too.
It really is. I mean, so if you're looking to acquire some really rare items for your own collection, you definitely want to watch this auction. This show is kind of a two-part purpose of doing our show is not only for us to let you know that we're looking for items for the auction, but also if you're a buyer, you want to listen to this program because we've always got interesting items for sale. But what else you got at the Native American auction that people would be interested in?
Well, it's funny. I'm cataloging all this stuff as we're going along, and the other day I just had pulled out a picture frame that we had on display here. 2 original Wild West Show programs from Buffalo Bill's Wild West Show when he performed in Chicago at the 1893 Columbian Exposition.
1893,
He had originally wanted to be in the Columbian Exposition, but they wanted 50 cents on the dollar of every admission he took. And he told him to go scratch, and he went right next door to the fair and rented 20 or 30 acres right along the Illinois Central and ran his own show right next to the Columbian Exposition. Had over 5 million people visit his show.
People never think of that. Everybody knows about the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago, one of the biggest fairs of all time, all world history, the 1893 Columbian Exposition, they called it. But yes, Buffalo Bill was running a show at the same time.
Right next door.
Almost right next door. And if memory serves me, he actually had better attendance than the World's Fair.
On many days he did, yes. And typical Buffalo Bill, he things like he opened his show the day before the World's Fair and closed it the day after the World's Fair closed. And I mean, he would do things like the World's Fair wouldn't let there was a bunch of underprivileged children in Chicago that they wanted to ask the World's Fair if we could go in for free, and they told him absolutely not. Buffalo Bill says, "Come on," and he gave them ice cream and souvenirs and everything else, and put on the show for them. I mean, he was quite a performer in his day.
That's just an incredible story. But again, we're looking for more items for this auction, future auctions, and everything else. But if you're looking for Wild West or Native American items, you don't want to miss this auction, which is November 22nd and 23rd.
So what you want to do is go to our website at donleyauctions.com, and on our website there will be a calendar of events and a big red button where you can actually go in to register to bid online. If you choose to bid from your home, or if you're out of state or out of the country, you can bid that way. Or you can come on out to Union, Illinois and bid live with us November 22nd and 23rd.
You get to meet us all.
You get to meet us, and there's no admission, right? You just need to give us your ID.
Pizza.
Free pizza, yeah, free beer and pop. Come on out.
Yeah, here we're saying that almost in a joking way, but I'm so glad you brought that up, because there's a lot of people out there, Susan and Mike, that don't know how to even attend an auction. Is there an admission? Isn't there an admission? And first, and I want people to know, there is no cost to get into a Donley auction. There's no admission whatsoever. And it's a very easy process to come to the auction and view the items and everything. Nobody's requiring you to purchase anything. And again, while you're here viewing, we always have complimentary soft drinks and food available. So it's a fun time.
Well, one of the myths we want to bust today is the fact that some people are intimidated by coming to auctions because they think it's only for the ultra wealthy people, like you see on TV and in movies where they're selling art for $1 million here and $2 million there. No, the auctions are for everyone. They're not stuffy anymore. It's very comfortable. We have a great informal, casual setting with tables and chairs, like you said, donuts and coffee, all kinds of great stuff. So we'd love for you to come out live and in person to one of our auctions. It's very high energy, and you can walk around and look at all of the items. You can touch them, feel them, and ask questions of all of our specialists.
It's funny because many times, and you've heard this too, after an auction, people will say how much fun they have.
Yes, it's an event.
It is crazy here sometimes.
It's an event.
It really is. And price range is all over the board. I mean, you can buy items sometimes here as cheap as what, $20? And of course, yes, the items do go up into the mid and high thousands routinely. But the point is, there's something for everybody in everybody's price range.
One of the questions I always get when people come into our place during an auction is, what am I supposed to do? Well, you don't really have to do anything except raise your bidder number when you are ready to bid. And be careful that you don't flail your arms, or when you're talking, some of you Italians out there, be careful because you might accidentally bid on something. But that's really all you have to do is put your card up and know your budget. Make sure you're bidding within your budget.
Well, and I would say that's not limited to the Italians, Susan. But
probably not. Yeah,
but I will say, as
too.
an auctioneer, yes, I mean, that does happen. I will be, watching the audience, and I'll see arms waving and everything, and
I'll go, is that a bid?
Is that a bid?
No, I was just talking. I was telling a story.
Yep, that happens a lot.
It's very simple. It's very easy. Come on in. We'll be happy to walk you through the whole process from start to finish. You got to come out. It's a great event on a weekend. It's indoors. Doesn't matter if it's hot outside or snowing or raining. We have a comfortable setting for you.
And of course, it's not the only way to bid.
It's not the only way to bid. If you can't make it out here, although we would love for you to come out sometime, you can submit what we call an absentee bid. And that goes through our website, or you can give us a call, email us, whatever is most convenient, and let us know what your item is, what the lot number is, and what your maximum bid is. And then Randy, our wonderful auctioneer, will bid it up to, not to your max, but to where the bids are going. You know, so you may get it for a lot less than your maximum bid, but that's as far as we will go.
And then online, too.
And you can bid online.
Bid online. Watch the whole auction online.
Yeah, you can even watch us live. You can see the audience. You can see the auctioneer and our clerking platform on the stage. So all you need to do is press the red button on our website, and it will take you to our bidding platform where you can actually register. You just enter your name, address, phone number, email, credit card information, and then you can place bids as you're looking through the catalog. It's that easy. And then, you know what? After that, what happens? You get an invoice. We'll send you an invoice, and then there's a link on the invoice where you can actually easily pay for your merchandise, and then we will give you all of the shipping and pickup information from there. Easy. Okay, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a short break here. Come back and join us at the Donley Auctions Hour on WLS AM 890. I'm sure we'll have more stories and more auction information for you. Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour right here every Sunday morning on WLS AM 890. Hi, I'm Susan. I'm here with Randy and Mike Donley. We are talking about upcoming auctions where we're looking for items that you might want to consign, and we're going to educate you a little bit on how you can bid at an auction and start your collection.
You know, Susan, I always like to point out that, you know, we are on Sundays in between financial shows. And one of the reasons that we pick this time slot is simply because folks out there that have items for sale sometimes have no idea where or how to sell their items, especially antiques. I mean, it's not like they're going to antique shows anymore, and you know, that's kind of a thing of the past. And people are having a hard time, you know. Sometimes they put stuff on eBay. That can work for them. It's a lot of work. Or they can find an auction house like ours and sell their items very easily, where they simply give us a call or email us, and boom, we'll take over from there and sell their items for them. And I always use this expression, we make it fit in your wallet, folks. We'll take your items that you want to sell, your antiques and collectibles. Well, collectibles is the wrong word, but antiques for sure. And we turn it into cash for you that fits in your wallet.
Right, because, you know, on eBay, that's a lot of work. You could sell onesies, twosies here and there. That's fine. But somebody brings us a collection of 100 or 200 items, boom, we sell it in one day.
You know,
so much easier.
I say this all the time. You're spot on, Susan, because I was just at a friend's house this weekend, and she asked me to go through her sale and check prices for her, see if she was missing anything, if anything was underpriced. And I mean, she literally had a barn full of antiques, collectibles, you know, all kinds of stuff. And I asked her how she did over the weekend, and she did okay. She sold some items. But then when I saw pictures of the barn, there's still 1,000 items left there.
Yeah, it's
so,
still pretty
okay,
packed, huh?
She sold a little bit. But if that would have been an auction, everything would be gone. All items would be gone. The take or the income would have been 10 times or more what she took in. Well, now, if you're going to make this your life's work and open up a sale weekend after weekend after weekend, that can work for you if that's what you want. But if the intent is to liquidate a collection, empty a house, you really need to use a different method other than a garage sale. Plus prices. We say this all the time. When you're pricing items at a sale, a garage sale or anything, people come in, you might have something priced at $100. First thing they say is, I'll give you $50. They're always negotiating down. Nobody says, "Oh, how about,
How about
you're asking
150? Yeah.
100? Why don't I give you 110, 120? How about 140?" I mean, those things just don't happen. So the difference between selling at a sale is negotiating down at a sale or negotiating up at an auction. You start it at $100 and now you're asking for more and you bid. The bid process keeps going up, not down.
That's right. We put those treasures in front of a targeted global audience, not just people who are coming in the door, because we're online across the country and across the world. So our outreach is much further than what you're going to get at a garage sale.
And that's probably the biggest thing that's changed in the auction world over the years is the fact that when you used to go to an auction, it was limited to who showed up that day. If it was raining out and nobody showed up, you could get some great bargains. And that has all changed now that it's on the internet because it is worldwide. Randy and Susan, you'll have thousands of people bidding on your platforms on any given auction all across the world. And you ship all over the world, too. So it's not limited to just who shows up here.
So we just debunked myth number 2, which is selling your collection at auction is complicated and you won't get a good price. Wrong. We just explained why you need to do this through an auction. You'll get a fair return with Donley Auctions. Give us a call at 815-923-7000.
Susan, just this week, I had somebody ask me, Randy, why would I bring my guns to the auction instead of just taking them to the local gun shop? Well, okay, you certainly can, and I'm not knocking local gun shops by any means and how anybody does business. But by and large, I mean, people that own gun shops have told me they have to offer a lot less simply because the time it takes them to sell it and the costs they have involved in everything. But on average, most shops will probably offer you about half of what they think they can get for it. Okay, and I would say that's very fair. Who's to say what you're going to get? But at auction, we, for example, for guns, we charge 20%. 20% of the price. We're marketing your guns. We're displaying your guns. We've got them online. Thousands of people are looking at your guns, and when they're bidding on them, the price that you get, you are actually ending up with 80% of the sale price as opposed to 50% you might be offered elsewhere. So that 30% is a darn big difference in value.
Also mentioned, Randy, that we do carry our very own federal firearms license, which makes it easy for anyone to bring them here. We do all the acquisitions and dispositions, and we are crossing our T's and dotting our I's with the ATF. We keep it very simple for all of you and legal.
And ATF, Susan, being alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. For those of you who don't know what ATF is, they're pretty much the governing body of firearms as far as making sure that people comply with state and federal laws. And that's one thing that we do for you. And as Susan mentioned, you can bring your guns to us. However, many, I would have to even say most cases, we end up coming to your home and picking up the guns so that you don't even have to make that trip. We try to make it that easy for you. And we will sell your guns. We will sell your ammunition, reloading supplies, and for that matter, even sports gear like bows and arrows and fishing and tackle. And there's some serious money in fishing tackle.
Yeah, how about fishing lures? We've got a whole display of fishing lures that we haven't gotten to yet, but I'm looking forward to getting those going.
They are coming up in one of our upcoming military auctions.
Going to military auction because we'll have some hunting gear in there. So definitely give us a call again at 815-923-7000 if you have anything you'd like to consign with us. Or if you're interested in bidding with us, go to donleyauctions.com. We will have a big red button on there for that particular auction where you can get registered and bid online from the comfort of your own home. Don't forget, when you do consign with Donley Auctions, why would you? For one, well, here's why. Because we have a worldwide reach. I'm going to keep reminding you, we get amazing prices. They're fairer than what you would get at garage sales in other places that you might want to drop off your items. We have a team of experts here to help identify what you have. We have professional photography that makes all of the items look fantastic online. And we have a marketing team that's going to get in front of a global audience of all of the collectors. You just never know what you might have in your basement, attic, garage, storage room. Give us a call.
You know, Susan, you mentioned garage sales again, and I would like to point out that so often people bring us items for sale that they bought at a garage sale. And they're bragging about how cheap they got it at a garage sale. And, you know, that just happens all too often. If you don't know the price to ask for something, how can you just guess? You can't play the best guessing game with items, especially items that you might have inherited. You don't know what they are or what the provenance is. So often people inherit an estate, and the first thing they need to do is clean the house out because they want to sell the real estate. And they end up running an estate sale, a garage sale. And again, unless you're hiring a real professional that can appraise these items for you, it's very, very risky to sell that way.
Okay, so that would be myth number 3. A lot of people don't think they have anything of value to consign with us. Well, you're not going to know unless you talk with us first. Give us a call at 815-923-7000, and we will definitely walk you through what you have and give you an estimated value.
You know, Randy, you mentioned also about when people inherit an estate, and we always tell them, call us and let us take a look before you start throwing things away.
Or letting people come cherry pick it, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so many times they've thrown the good stuff in the dumpster. They don't recognize what's good and what's not good. I mean, some people think that, you know, if the furniture's carved, it's good. 9 times out of 10, it isn't. I mean, and they'll throw away just little items, little trinkets, little advertising items, stuff that are worth hundreds of dollars.
I have brought up this story probably already on the air, but it's a story I'll never forget. Larry and I, our father and myself, we pulled up to an estate at one point in time. The dumpster was there, and it was overflowing. You could see all kinds of items way above the edges of the dumpster. And the first thing that I spotted on the top of the dumpster was a World War II flight jacket. And I'm like in disbelief.
What?
You know, first you almost think you're being punked because it just doesn't even seem like anybody would possibly throw away a hand-painted flight jacket and have it in the dumpster. So we go into the house. The first question I ask is, how about the items in the dumpster? If there's items that I see there that I want, can I have those items? Well, absolutely, anything in the dumpster. We were actually there to buy. This was pre-auction days. And I spent about a half hour picking stuff out of the dumpster. I climbed right up on the dumpster and took all kinds of great items out of there. People were just throwing items away, unbelievably so.
Well, do you remember, and you know, I'm not telling tales out of school here, but when you were in high school, what was your job, your summer job?
Well, I was a Berwyn garbage man.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I was lucky enough that before I would go to school, I would do a route called specials. And specials, we just had a big dump truck. It wasn't like the standard garbage truck. And we would go pick up when people called and they had a bunch of furniture or items.
House clean out, yeah.
Right. Berwyn garbage, we would just go load it all in the truck. Well, I can't tell you. I would constantly be sorting stuff and putting stuff aside, or I would put stuff aside even in the alley that we didn't put in the truck, and I would come back with my car and pick items up. And the first thing that I would do after school then was hit the local antique store. And I would sell all these items that the people had thrown away. But again, military relics, I was finding like crazy, including back in those days. Now, this would be the late 60s, probably 68. People were actually throwing away firearms. Mm-hmm. We would find guns in the garbage, World War II relics where people would clean out an estate. They just threw it away.
Yeah.
So that was not at all uncommon to find stuff, but it was a great job and it paid well.
But it's still happening today. People throw stuff away that's worth a lot of money. You got to call us, folks.
The moral of the story, yeah.
And it doesn't cost anything to call us.
No.
We're happy to do this, and you don't necessarily even have to sell it at auction. We're still happy to offer the service. If you've got items that you would like us to give you our opinion as to the value, we're more than happy to do that.
We get pictures every day. That's the easiest way to do it is just take a picture with your phone and send it to us. Where do they send it? Consign at DonleyAuctions.com?
Yep, consign at DonleyAuctions.com. We just need to see a photo of what you have. If there's a label or a tag on it or anything like that, it makes it easy.
Every day I'm coming in.
Every day Mike's got a pile of stuff.
You're handing me, look through these items, and, and there's a lot of stuff we don't take, honestly. But
right, but at least they're asking.
They're asking, and we'll give you our honest opinion of what we think it's worth and an avenue that we think that you can sell it at if we're not going to sell it for you.
Yeah, and we know a lot of people are usually in a hurry, right? We got to get rid of it. We got to clean out the house. We got to do this. We got to do that. So you got to let us know, what your timelines are, your deadlines, because we try to work with everybody. But again, it's got to work for both sides of the picture here.
And we're full service here. We'll sell your real estate for you too.
That's something we have not been talking a lot about. We need to get Shauna Donley on this show to talk about real estate because, folks, yes, we do have a real estate division here at Donley Auctions, headed by my daughter, who is a realtor in the city of Chicago. But we don't only do Chicago, we do the entire state of Illinois, and we can help you with your real estate. And people think, because you're an auction house, you only auction. I don't want to auction my real estate. That's not the case at all. My daughter will list the property for you, and routinely she sells real estate at more than asking price. If there's a nice property out there, it always sells for over and above asking. And property right now is red hot.
Yeah, it's hot market in Chicago.
So definitely call us. And do we have a tab on the website for real estate? I would think so.
We sure do. Yep. Go to Donley Auctions with an S.com, and you'll see our real estate tab on the front page, on the home page. And it'll give you some more information there. Again, always call us at 815-923-7000 if you'd like to talk to us in person on the phone.
A few minutes ago, we talked about a flight jacket being on the top of a dumpster, which leads me into one of our upcoming auctions, which is military relics. We've got the Bannister collection, which seems like it's a long way off. But ladies and gentlemen, the Bannister collection is named after the owner of the collection. The collection is World War II relics with a big major emphasis on D-Day.
Right.
We have original battle plans from D-Day in this collection. We have weapons galore. Some very, very early and rare weapons. And just yesterday, I keep saying this yesterday, but, we probably get how many calls? 100 calls a day at Donley Auctions. Just yesterday, a gentleman called me with a machine called a NEMA machine, N-E-M-A, which is a cipher machine, which is similar to an Enigma.
It was for coding. It was for sending coded messages.
Exactly. And the NEMA is not anywhere near as value as the Enigma, which is an extremely valuable piece of equipment, folks. But this machine will still bring, probably $8,000 to $10,000. And it was actually they manufactured these machines as early as 1943. However, this one's a little later. This is 1948. But still highly collectible and perfect to fit right into the D-Day auction, which we've got coming up in February.
February 7th, to be exact. Again, check our website at DonleyAuctions.com for all of our upcoming auctions and those dates.
So it's very important, if you have any relatives or any D-Day items that you want to consign, this is the perfect auction. And there's an awful lot of memorabilia out there, in the Chicago and suburbs and everything, uniforms from relatives, helmets, weapons, anything D-Day related, photography, photo albums, We need it for this auction, and you could be very surprised at the price that you could achieve on these historic items.
You know, I was just up in Baraboo last weekend and picked up a couple things for one of our upcoming military auctions. It's actually two items. One's a Civil War grouping and one's a World War I grouping. And it was the gentleman's in his 80s, and he had no family members left to pass this on to, so he decided to sell the items to the auction. And one of them is a great World War I grouping of a World War I soldier from Chicago who died of his wounds that he received on November 11th, 1919, right before, just hours before the armistice.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, just unbelievable. All his letters that he wrote home, I mean, his uniform, just an unbelievable grouping. A handwritten letter from the Red Cross attendants that told of how he died and everything like that. Just an amazing grouping. That, and then also from one of his relatives, a Civil War grouping, an archive of letters, just unbelievable. Their relative was actually went into the Confederate forces, was captured, and then had to swear allegiance to the United States, the North, and fought for the North. But it's all his letters. There must be 30, 40 letters in there. His diary, just another great grouping. So there's a lot of stuff still out there.
So if you are a Civil War collector or a military collector, I mean, just these two items that Mike picked up this weekend are going to be coming up in auction. Again, first time ever being offered. These have been in the family forever, and they've never been offered for sale before. And I say this all the time, is that when items come up for sale, you really have to make your decision to acquire these items now, because normally once items get bought up at auction, they get put into a collection and they don't become for sale again until maybe that owner passes. So items can be taken off the market again for 20, 30, 40 years. Now, these items Mike was just talking about have never been available for sale, ever. And now here they're coming to market for the first time.
Yeah, think of it. Just the World War I item, that's over 100 years ago just for that.
You know, Mike, right in between those two wars, in between the Civil War and World War I, we have the Spanish-American War, and we actually have coming up at auction also an item that I purchased years and years ago. I went to Biloxi, and a gentleman, I was actually buying his World War II flight jacket at the time, and he was telling me how he had been saving his father's uniform to give to his son. But his son was tragically killed in an accident, and he had nobody now to leave his father's uniform to. And it was a Spanish-American War jacket and hat that actually charged up San Juan Hill with Teddy Roosevelt. And the man was from Elgin, Illinois.
That's correct.
But he was now living in Biloxi, and he said, I'd love to sell you this uniform so that we could display it at the Wild West Town.
Which we did for many years, yes.
It was on display at the Wild West Town for 40-plus years, and now that the Wild West Town is, we are selling off the collection. This is, again, a uniform, a Spanish-American War documented uniform that charged up San Juan Hill that has literally not seen the market in over 40 years. I purchased this from a family member and put it right on display for 40-plus years, and now it's coming to the market again. This is a very small little sliver of time that you can purchase this original item. Watch our auction. Susan, how do they find out about us?
All right. We have a lot of stuff coming up here at Donley Auctions. Go to our website. First and foremost, DonleyAuctions.com. We have a calendar of events, upcoming auctions. Keep in mind, too, folks, that if you are interested in consigning anything with us for these upcoming auctions, we need lots of lead time to get it described, to get it tagged, inventoried, photographed, marketed for you. We probably need, how much time would you say? 4 to 6 weeks?
At least,
2 months, I would say. To be fair to everybody out there, just give us a lot of time before the auction.
Yes, one thing people say to me all the time, I hear this, Well, when do you need it by?
When do you need it by?
Well,
I need it yesterday.
If it's available today, we'll take it today. It doesn't matter when the auction is coming up. We need the items, and for many, many reasons. We're not just trying to grab something and have it sitting here for months. The fact is, we need to do research. We need to do photography, and we need to do marketing.
Right, because some of those magazine deadlines are 2 months out.
Absolutely.
So if we're going to get it published and, let everyone know about it, we need some time.
We're in trade magazines all the time, and we do shows. Mike, we just signed up for a show in Tennessee, and that's in December. And
Big
then,
military show down there, yeah.
That's
and
Civil
then
War show
you're
in
also
Franklin.
doing the show of shows. When is that?
That's in February, isn't it? Right before the Bannister auction.
Yeah.
And see, so that's why we're promoting the Bannister auction so far out, because we need, again, if we're going to get the top dollar, we need to keep promoting. That's what we do for you. And that's all built into your costs of percentage.
And speaking of shows, Ryan, who was our coin, jewelry, sports expert, is at the Coin Club of Elgin Coin Show this weekend, today, Sunday, at the Holiday Inn from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. today. So go see Ryan if you have coins or jewelry, anything in that area to talk to him about.
Sports cards, too,
yep.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on any of that this week. We're going to have to talk about more of that next week.
Well, yeah, because we're going to talk about some of the great
boy, did we have some
sold items.
results to talk about for you at this last auction. Again, Ryan is our toy, coin, and sports expert. And again, the prices that we achieved this weekend were phenomenal. So if you've got any of these items for sale, you need to contact us.
That's right. Contact us at 815-923-7000. Email us at consign@donleyauctions.com, or you can attend any of the shows that we're at. The Coin Show, we're going to be at the Sun City Fall Consumer Showcase at Del Webb in Huntley on October 30th from 9 to 4. We'd love to talk with you, so if you're out and about, definitely come see us. Donley Auctions would love to talk with you and make it fit in your wallet. So thank you for joining us for the Donley Auctions Hour this week. If you have any photos you'd like to send us at consign@donleyauctions.com, let us ensure we'll make it fit in your wallet. And thank you for chasing history with us. For now, I'm Susan.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Randy Donley, and we'll see you at the auction.